Ooh, it is a bit laggy. Thank you for joining me. We are playing a walking simulator called Lobby Cam. I believe it's telling me a story as we walk along. There is no settings whatsoever. I was just walking. Thank you to Shah who let me use the song Minerva Butterfly Room. Thank you to RFK23 for composing the music in Canis Room. And thank you to Chris6 for helping me fix stuff. Right here. And Lobby Cam by Bryn O. With special thanks to the Canadian Council for the Arts for their generous support. There are diary pages on the ground to collect for the narrative. Press J to open your journal after you find some. If you find the flashlight, press F to turn it on and off. I originally created Lobby Cam for Second Life. Lobby Cam's that, or not Lobby Cam, excuse me, Second Life is that, life sim. July 20th, a couple came today. They were quite friendly, and we awkwardly social distanced. It took me a while to realize they had journeyed to see the virtual rooms I built. It has been so long since people have come during the pandemic, and the train no longer runs this route. As we're talking through our colorful and happily designed mass, I saw myself through their eyes. How I must appear to them. A middle-aged man living alone in a remote converted grain silo. To the side, a weathered and disused cafe echoing like a carefree time when people sat close and touched. An eccentric who builds virtual kawaii cyberpunk Nico rooms to relax in. I couldn't tell if they pitied me or be interested. This one actually particularly doesn't let me pick it up. Klaxon 5 immersive artist, virtual rooms and experience. The point. Oh. Link's shelter ball. So, what's this about nuclear bombardment? Somebody blows our city to a village and we hide in a hole. While the green radiation floats about for a month or so. Ah, me, rather, I got a new Slink shelter ball. What's that? Easy. When the bombs pop, I'm not sticking about. Me and my shelter ball will be blown fucking miles away. Outside the radiation zone, right where I like it. I might be knocked around a wee bit, but it's all comfort inside my ride, thanks to a fine combo of airbags and pillows. What's your plans? If it's not Slinks, it stinks. Down here. Okay, this is a free game that you find on Steam. It was recommended to me through Steam stations, and I thought, why not? I I have a guilty love of walking simulators. I really do like them. Good, bad. I have a bunch that I mean to play for the channel, but I don't know, some of them they like to crash, and I guess my patience level is pretty slim. Birds. Okay. July 23rd. Today I was much like the others. I tended my fields and watched the wheat move like waves in the wind. The red-winged blackbirds singing, the crickets chirping, and the ever-present drone of the cicadas. I don't know why I keep this diary, really. I seem to write the same thing over and over. Routine, I guess, as it all is during the pandemic. I think never before in history have so many people from so many cultures truly been able to associate with each other past all the barriers of language and religions. We are all separate but together in a strange way. We are all going through the same thing. Well, not everyone. There is still hate and the conspiracies heaped upon us by those at the top who should have pushed it aside for unity. It's a real time, but I feel strangely content in my self-imposed isolation. I am again noticing the small things in life, and I have come to realize there is a deep beauty in melancholy. Somebody did not do well in the pandemic, did you? I mean, I get it. I didn't do well either. But like a subway train, a picture of that? I want to read this, but I can't. We will continue on. I wonder why I can't pick those pictures. It bothers me. The completionist in me is worried that something is... I will tell you the game plays pretty gross. July 24th, I came in from the fields today, made dinner, and sat down to watch TV, as I am accustomed to doing. Funny thing happened, though. I was flipping through the TV channels and net shows, then came to one I had never seen. It was the channel R plus 6, and I don't think it was even there before. Anyway, all it showed was an empty lobby for an apartment building. I realized it was a lobby security camera because I was watching a young lady come into the picture and check her mail within a wall of little red metal mailboxes. My view was from up in the corner looking down on her. She read some mail from a table, opened a door, and then disappeared from view. After she left, I watched for a little while, and it seemed as though the lobby almost returned to a frozen state of waiting. Complete stillness, only moments before brought to life by the presence of this young lady. Actually, that is the note that was back there from what I think I could read. So, we were gonna be alright. Check. Yeah, alright. July 20... I came in from the fields today, made dinner, and sat down to watch TV. The news was of the final two names of the news singularity, AI, as voted by the world. The authorities are a bit upset that Brainy McBrainface and Milk Drop are the final two. An AI to run the world. Possibly good. I am voting for Milk Drop because I just love that candy. Other news is the spread of the virus through the world at an alarming pace, and the many murders committed by Anna. As I was watching, I remembered the lobby camera channel and switched over to see it during the commercials. It was the same empty room, almost like a photograph. I don't really know what I was expecting or even why I went there. And just as I was about to go back to watch the news, she appeared, the girl from yesterday. She wore a gray sweater and some leggings. To me, a cosmopolitan office look of some sort, though I am certainly no expert on that considering where I live. She went to her mailbox. She opened it and peered inside to find nothing. She picked up her mail from a table and began to read a letter. I watched as her mouth moved from a frown to a cute smile. She laughed, and it lit up her eyes. There is nothing so pretty as an unwatched girl. The imposed purity of no social consumption. She put down her letter and disappeared into the building. I watched for a few moments longer and then went back to the news. A story on the partisan politics of wearing a mask in the USA. Turned it off. My mind went back to the girl. How could I possibly get reception from a security camera to my TV? I thought they were local or something. There's not an apartment building within 200 kilometers to where I live. Is she even in the same country as me? closed. Ours are by chance. Oh, poor bike. There's no toggle for running. We're curious. Oh, to run pretty awfully. Whatever name we end up giving our AI, it really doesn't matter. Humanity will be better for a guiding hand, which will steer us based on what is best for humanity as the programming goes. With all the petty politics and greed shaping our world, despite the obvious need for drastic change, we now can push this all aside to be replaced by a rational thought, by artificial intelligence. Final 3 names voted on. After 6 months of voting worldwide, the naming competition for the Singularity AI is coming to a close. Humanity is at a historic moment as we prepare to activate a guiding AI to shape the future. However, it is not without controversy. The name Turing currently leads with most votes, with Milkdrop a close second, but stubbornly the name Smarty McSmartpants won't go away. 4-2. Don't think I can get that. Cute little drawing. The 26th of July. While I was out in the fields today, strangely, my mind kept returning to the lobby camera. I imagined the bustling life there in the city, perhaps with a person to match each strand of wheat in my field. I went home and made dinner and found the lobby channel. She walked in almost immediately, opened her mailbox, and peered inside. From the table she picked up her letters and started to read them. She's slight, small, and almost homely. I can see a flicker of a smile flow across her face as she reads, like the wind and the waves it creates across my wheat. Who is she? What does she do? Does she live alone? I bet she has cats. Enough to give her an uncomfortable sleep as they lay claim to various parts of her bed. As I was daydreaming, she suddenly laughed. Bye, Fern, I murmured out loud. I decided to name her Fern after the thin, graceful, yet resilient plants who suffered the wind gusts by my barn. I watched the silent lobby for a moment, and I hesitated. Then I saved the channel into my favorites. Really see here. I don't know if there's anything to see in the wheat field. I don't think so. We'll check around. What's going on here? Parkour? Hardcore parkour? Does jump. Acknowledge there's no reason to be up here, but... Oh, wait. Get back. I think it's a poem. Hold on. It's really hard to see. Lady Carmenelle was a lonely soul who drew faces on rocks and things. She murmured soothing words pretending they were birds, who had somehow lost their wings. When the acid rain washed away the stain of the faces upon her rocks, she would gaze to the sky, happy tears in her eyes, dreaming they had found a place in a flock. Let's go back out of curiosity. Alright, I don't know if the pages are in a specific order and I'm just happenstance picking them up correctly, or Are they just being labeled by what I pick them up? Not. A post. This was a Canadian-made game, huh? Lost at sea. I feel younger than you are. Your new TV. Your second car. I search for free. Holes in my knee. I feel compared. Still a kid. Feeling scared. He is so demure. I feel graceless, immature, and base. Let's close it all. The brittle popularity. Don't read your wall. Modern temerity. Love me with solidarity. Your phone dings. Just a little peek. Cats and things. Later we'll speak. I walk away. You didn't see. Locked to your display while I am lost at sea. Buddy, what you doing? Slightly curious as to the chairs, all the chairs being piled up. If there's a meaning. Oh, well, these chairs are piled up and then it has a Sith on top. Probably not good. The van. I am so tiny compared to the van. Like, the van is a giant. These pages over here. August 3rd. A week has gone by and I find myself watching the lobby channel more often. I am curious if perhaps Fern goes out later at night or ever comes home with a friend, but I never see her outside of my dinner time. It is 6 p.m. here, and I am eating my supper, but I think she is just arriving home from work. People in cities finish work around 5 p.m., don't they? I saw her drop something as she picked up her letters from the table. It was a long slip of paper with some red on the end. At the top, a logo with the letters TTC. What is it? That I wonder. Pick up that. But hopefully it's not. He said he lived in a converted grain barn, so this should be interesting. Uh-oh. Visible box. I think I'm gonna have to continue my hardcore parkour. Going. Wait. Oh, maybe not. Those chairs block me. Oh, Gabe flung me off to the side. Maybe there's nothing over there. I don't know. We'll check harder. Oh, look at all the VR. Can't read any of these notes on the floor. Oh, wait, take that back. August 4th. Today, when Fern came home, I spoke out loud to the room. Oh, hello, Fern. How was your ride on the TTC subway? Or, better known as the Toronto Transit Commission. I felt myself smiling, feeling a bit like Sherlock Holmes. I had Googled TTC and discovered that my Fern lived 2 hours into my future. She lives in Toronto, where it is 8 p.m. to my 6 p.m. A long work day for her. I guess she can't work from home like many are doing during the pandemic. Even still, that seems really late. She shouldn't have to do that. After speaking out loud to her, to my empty room, I felt a bit silly because here I was talking to a girl hundreds of kilometers away who has no idea that I even exist. It is both funny and a bit depressing because she has become almost a friend to me now. I know that sounds ridiculous, and I can't even defend it to myself. The truth is that I look forward to seeing her, and I have not watched another TV channel in days. Dude. My dude. Ooh. This is filled with holes. Oh, goodness. The 8th of August. Today I was eating, and Fern came in, and I said, "Oh, hello, Fern. You won't believe what I saw flying." But then I stopped and sat up, almost spilling my dinner. Behind Fern walked a man. Jacqueline opened her mail slot, peered inside its empty space, and then closed it. I could see her hesitate, looking down to her letters on the table. I found myself murmuring, "Go on, get your mail, Fern." But she just looked on them. A moment later she turned, and after having seemed to come to a decision, she left the lobby without picking up her mail. The man followed behind and suddenly tickled her. She squirmed and said something with a smile, which I couldn't quite make out. Then they were past the security camera and had gone to her apartment. I watched the empty lobby for a while. I was surprised to find my heart racing and feeling a bit sad. "Perhaps he is her brother," I explained to my empty room. "Must be in her bubble." I watched the lobby channel well past midnight, then turned it off. The man did not leave. My sleep was restless, and I felt adrift, like the wheat gently moving to the night breezes outside my home. His crush has a guy. Alright, let's see this. Dorothy Gish, Hamilton Phil chord. Marty. The classic videos. A Pandemic Roommates. Paramount Pictures presents Pandemic Roommates, starring Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, and Danny DeVito as the Amazon delivery guy. A corporate lawyer and an artisanal hand soap maker fighting in court. Then they had to isolate together. Hold on. Okay, I have to back away from that. The 9th of August. Today I just walked my fields with my mind preoccupied by the feeling that I had seen a clue yesterday, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. I was filled with anew, and so I came in and put on the lobby cam. I watched the room again, feeling as though there was something before me that I was missing, as though I didn't have the city eyes required to see a clue that my rural upbringing missed. Suddenly the postman came into view. It's funny, but everything seems sudden with the security cam. Hours of stillness broken by a few minutes of bustling movement, only to return to what feels like a photograph. A bit like my life, I suppose. My days are quiet and still until someone appears to buy a VR headset, and I am jolted into a conversation until they leave, and then all returns to a slow wave of my wheat in the breeze. The postman rooted around in his mailbag and then began filling the mailboxes with the detritus of life, feeding their little mouths bills and advertising, promotions, and then the letters, the dying breed of communication. He passed by Fern's box without opening it, as he so often seems to do, and then finally places the letter on the table and leaves. I watched the room for too long. He goes to war. Man's best friend just got better. Slinks Scientypes are excited to unveil the first Power Pet trademark in our line of clone bots. We are pleased to introduce Singer, the rocket dog. Now first, let us explain that this isn't your typical mixed clone fairy pet like the Rabicorn of yesterday. Rather, this is an all-new power pet, fully customizable with your choice of accessories. Choose from the list below and build a pet that the whole family will love. So you are tired of sit or shake hands? Then please let us acquaint you with Bye. The sketch on the lower left reminds me of something from, I'll have to look up the author's name. Silverstein. He did all the poems. Charles Silverstein. It came to me when I was thinking about it. So what happens? The 10th of August. What is wrong with me? I sit waiting to catch a glimpse of a woman who doesn't know I exist, nor ever will. I feel as though she is my friend. I feel protective of her and jealous of a possible lover. It's insane. It's embarrassingly stupid of me. I've never really felt my loneliness, though I've sensed it. But now, suddenly, I wish nothing more than to talk to Fern. To tell her... Well, to tell her what? That I watch her on a security camera from thousands of kilometers away? That's not creepy at all. That she has become the joy of my day, and that my greatest fear is that my TV will realize the glitch I'm picking up a signal from a building so far away is near impossible. That one day I'll turn on the TV to find the channel gone as though it had never existed. As though she had never existed. What am I doing? It must be unhealthy, mustn't it? Am I that creep from a horror movie? Yet I just don't realize it. As I write this, my eyes blurred, then cleared, as a tear was born. I am ashamed of myself, a grown man weeping. Tomorrow, I must take down the satellite dish. Oh, so someone comes in and buys these VRs? This must be his workshop? My fingers are tired. Is your child asking too many questions? Re-televise! Is your coffee getting cold from too many answers? Why supervise when you can re-televise? Call now to book your child in our intensive 16-week program for curious or active children. Oh. Whoa. Hello.
Let me introduce myself. Bernard Shaw. I am asked to give you a specimen of spoken English. But first, let me give you a warning. You think you are hearing my voice, but unless you know how to use your gramophone properly, what you are hearing may be something grotesquely unlike any sound that has ever come from my ears.
Jump kick, girl. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm a bit concerned about it. I want to leave.
A few days ago, I heard a gramophone record of a speech by Mr. Ramsay MacDonald.
There's a small chance that there's going to be absolutely no sound that's happening right now, and that is because it's copyrighted music. Just so you know.
What I heard was a high-pitched, sharp, cackling.
How do I leave?
Most unusual.
VR lo-fi bedroom. Oh, okay. I could just walk through. Nice. Okay, so walking towards that puts me into the VR. Got it. John Barrymore, Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde. You can go. Person is definitely a lover of old movies. Sit here and... Oh, he's got a Game Boy. Sit here and play his Game Boy and watch out the window? Yes, that's a life. Who am I to knock it? I can't help but think that during bad weather, because of the slats and stuff, that this would be overly protective. Feel like it wouldn't be. Last night, I fell asleep on the couch with the lobby cam channel on. I'm a sentimental fool. I wanted to see Fern one last time to say goodbye. I picked up the TV remote and turned it off, and there she was. She came in and opened her mailbox. She peered inside and found nothing as usual, then closed the door. I watched her look down to the letters on the table and hesitate. With the appearance of being defeated, Fern slowly picked up a letter, and I could see on her cheek a tear to match the one I shed last night. She lifted the letter, and for the first time I could read the address on the envelope. Ruth Anderson, Gladstone Avenue, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And in big black letters, moved, return to sender. I watched her open the letter, and the mystery that eluded me for so long became clear. Oh, my dear Fern, you don't have anyone to talk to. You are so alone and live vicariously through the discarded letters of someone who has moved away. You hold the leftovers of a full life and a dream. They are as your own. Oh, that's an advertisement. Dear Fern, well, Fern, this is what I call you. I know this letter is destined to fail, for how can it not? It was addressed to a lady who has moved away, yet meant for the girl who secretly reads her mail. I decided, though, that I would try, for if I do not, then I will always wonder to myself what may have been. What I am about to tell you must surely convince you that I am crazy, or that you are the recipient of an elaborate joke. Either way, I wouldn't blame you in the least should you throw this letter away and never respond. Eyes you have never laid upon me, nor have we ever spoken. In fact, we are 3,000 kilometers apart. Yet, despite this, I think I'm in love with you. Oh, well, okay, well, the idea of you, or the projection of you? Please let me explain. I sense we both feel the pain of phantom isolation, of being alone in crowds. I can relate to your sense of being adrift, of not being seen by those around you who seem to always be moving on to other things while you stand motionless. I abide in the fields swaying wheat while you remain hushed, serene, and fixed while crowds pass around you. Through a mechanism I fail to understand, my television has somehow connected to the security camera in your apartment building lobby. Yes, the one you're looking at right now. For the past few months, the highlight of my solitary existence has become the act of tuning into this lobby cam channel and catching a glimpse of another person who, I feel, is in the same state as myself. The sad irony is that my comfort in knowing I'm not alone is paired with the painful reminder that the only person who can relate to me is so far removed. I can't imagine you feel the same as my fanciful projections onto you, especially not after learning about it in this fashion. You have every right to be repulsed or frightened, and I could never hold it against you for feeling that way. But maybe, just maybe, knowing you have made another person's life just a little less empty will make your life feel just a little bit fuller. If that is the case, I hope to hear from you. Sincerely, Saxon 5. Dear Claxon 5, I have to admit that when I read your letter and realized you had witnessed from afar my guilty pleasure in reading another's mail, I was alarmed and, to be honest, embarrassed that my moral sensibilities have eroded so far. I think during the pandemic many of us had people in their bubble, but when you're alone it is instead a shell. I travel through my life in the shell, and the only breath of fresh air came from reading the life of another. I have slowly forgotten how to interact with people around me. I don't know what to think about your letter, and I imagine had it not been so eloquently worded, I may have ignored it completely, withdrawing even further. Yet, your message touched me. Perhaps there is a way where we can get to know each other slowly, and, being the romantic that I am, I would like to think we may become friends through this very unlikely encounter. While initially mortified, I have over time contemplated your words and feel like there may be no harm in having a correspondence, not like the antiquated pen pals from an earlier time. I can send you scented pages with poetry and word, and even tiny seeds or pretty stones that I find, and you can send me some petals or grain from your fields, so I may smell the fragrance of your world. And maybe, in time, you could build a virtual room similar to the mail room you see me in, and we could meet to talk there as though we both live in the same building. I am excited for the first time in a long time, and am going to run out and get a pen, nib, ink, and some fine paper, such as the Victorians might have used. Sincerely, Fern. Oh, I thought that was rotting food, but I realized no, it's like a sculpture of some sort. That is an apple. We've got some pizza. Nerds from a past. Okay, let's. Oh, I went too close. I was actually trying to avoid from. Whoa. The cat doesn't love you like I do. She loves you when she wants to. I am always happy when you come home. I am your only dog. I am your happy dog. I am a good boy. You are everything. I am a dog. You will betray me, but I will love you. We don't go to the park anymore. We will always bring the ball back. Can I sleep in your bed again? That is actually terrifically sad. If there is no sound at all, again, I had to uh, mute it because it was copyrighted. Let's pop into this one. Oh, we've seen these statues, haven't we? And my eyes are gray and they change with the sky, sometimes green or blue, sometimes when you're nearby. Your eyes a warm brown, and in them I could drown, shining so carefree, but they never settle on me. I am a leaf caught in the wind, pressed to a fence, pinned. If I could only get you alone and my shyness wouldn't betray, if I could just meet your eyes, but that's a dream for another day. Brian-o, or Brino. Again, there's some beautiful music in this game, but I am terrified it's copyrighted. Okay. I don't know if there's more. there was discussions. Oh, he's a violin player. There is discussions of, like there's supposed to be a flashlight I could find. Oh, a couch. Pack myself in a tree. That'd be fun. Nothing here? Yeah. When you're inside, it's fine, but when you're outside, oh, the performance, you can feel it. In some ways, it feels like he left in a hurry. Hooks, I found your picture fallen behind the cupboard. You were chasing me around the tree. My smile was parted to say something, but I no longer remember what it was going to be. I watched you leave me with hooks in my cheeks. They helped me smile, through the lows and the peaks. And I try to see who holds these hooks, but when I tilt my head, it's too painful to look. I know. And if I'm saying their name incorrectly, I'm very sorry. If the flashlight is laying in the field, I am going to be out of luck because I'm not going to walk. Alright, I spent about 15 minutes looking around, walking around. I didn't see the flashlight. I don't know how important the flashlight is. I don't know what more of the story there is to be told. I mean, basically, we know that this gentleman somehow got the security cam footage of a lobby shown into his TV during a pandemic. He became kind of obsessed of watching it. I fell in love with the idea of this fern and one day admitted to her how he felt, and she reciprocated and they became pen pals. And the fact that he's not here, the story that I'm going to tell myself is that he caught a train, the pandemic eased, and he caught a train to go meet Fern. That's the story we're seeing. I don't want to believe that it's anything else than that. Yeah. All right. Or I guess worst case scenario is that he became sick from the pandemic. And his notes left over. I don't know. But I would rather believe my first because I'm an optimist that way. And here, yeah, I've looked around quite a bit and I didn't see anything. The only thing I could think of is it might be something hidden in one of the VR rooms, but I don't know. I don't know what more else is there to be told as far as story goes. Thank you so much for keeping me company, and I will be back soon with something else.